Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, DOGE touch-base sessions with staff at the General Services Administration preceded probationary terminations and stirred privacy concerns from staff, according to a source. And unions lack standing to challenge the Office of Personnel Management's offer for deferred resignation, according to a judge in Massachusetts ruling on Thursday. Happy Valentine's Day. It's Friday, February 14th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm Caroline Nyhill, filling in again for Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Here are today's top headlines. The General Services Administration had a series of touch-base sessions with representatives from the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, about 2 weeks ago, which preceded GSA's move to terminate probationary employees and stirred privacy concerns among the Technology Transformation Services workforce. A source familiar with the inner workings of the U.S. Digital Corps, a 2-year fellowship for early career technologists to show coding work and work through interagency agreements across the federal government and is managed by TTS, said that DOGE representatives asked them and others to show coding work. The source said that staff was hesitant to show this work and that sensitive information was related to work with other agencies. During those meetings, which were led by DOGE advisors, who only identified themselves by first name, or the newly appointed director of TTS, Thomas Shedd, staffers were asked about their skill sets and work, according to the source. A GSA spokesperson told FedScoop that Shedd initiated these meetings and that, quote, getting a sense of the technical work being performed by the organization is an essential part of understanding what the team is doing and what they are capable of, end quote. A calendar invite to a DOGE touch-base session did not show a government email for the DOGE representatives, according to the source, and substantiated by documents shared with FedScoop. In other news, unions are challenging the Trump administration's deferred resignation offer to government workers, but lack the standing to do so, according to a federal judge in Massachusetts. This decision eliminated the temporary pause on the previously decided deadline for workers to accept the resignation offer and denied the union's attempt to seek a long-term hold on the deadline through a preliminary injunction. According to the Office of Personnel Management spokeswoman McLaurin Pinover, the deadline to accept the offer closed Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pinover said that the final number of people who accepted the offer is about 75,000. OPM's offer, which the agency refers to as the fork in the road, allowed federal employees to indicate if they wanted to leave the government and have their resignation become effective September 30th. In the meantime, they would still receive pay and benefits and be exempted from in-person work requirements. The original deadline to accept was February 6th. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on the platform of your choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put this show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with more top headlines. Until then, enjoy your weekend. I'm your host, Caroline Nyhill. Thanks for listening.